Formal, it's not formal this time. I would really like to say thank you to a number of people. In my last show, which is most likely the last complex show that I do in my life, I finally ended up being able to work with a kind of delegation and share the work into the shared work spirit, which was absolutely amazing. And so I would like to say thank you to the lady that didn't come here because she keeps working, which is Rita 14. She works for the Arsenale Institute since 20 years. And everything that you see here was touched by Rita, everything. And most of it was done by Rita. So among other things, all the paper restoration, she's the leading expert in paper restoration, all the framing was done by her, everything that's practical was done by her. She's absolutely great. I would like to say thank you to her, but she didn't come.
He's busy doing something.
Okay. Okay, number two, yeah, you should have brought her really. Someone should have brought her. Okay, number two, Sui, whom I met. It was not that I chose her, but she saw our last barricade show in Rome and got some interest and came here to study with us. And she did. She was really instrumental to especially end up with the catalogue, and the catalogue is important. It was a nightmare to do it. It was a hell ride. In the end, I didn't sleep for 74 hours, and I never overcame the damage that I adopted from that. I would have never been able to do it without her. She was the copy editor, the typesetter, the everything, the organizer, everything. Impossible without her, and I still cannot imagine that we did it in such a short period of time. I would say what we did there normally is 3 years and 20 people. And that's the only thing that's somewhat healthy. That was not healthy at all. Yeah. And actually, maybe
She will arrive in a second.
Who?
Rita.
Too late. Too late. And since we're talking about the publication, my publisher, Tom. I think the leading publisher in Europe, the only publisher that loses money by purpose. And that's why the term publishing house is crossed out in their logo. Yeah. The other one that was quite important is Elena. Elena, and that's also a first in my career as a museum maker. Oh my God, hello, pleasure. She did the accrochage, and we were so late. Usually I do the accrochage on the computer. Hours and hours of reflection. She did the accrochage physically here on the floor, which means she made the outline of all the walls and played with the frames endlessly. So it was a physical work even, yeah? All the accrochage is done by Elena, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. Number three is Marvi, and she's not here. She's named Marvi because Maria Vittoria turned out way too long, way too much waste of her time to be able to finish this in time. Yeah. But Marvi is also working outside. All right, someone else? I mean, a lot of people were involved in this, but I have this is really not formal. I'm very serious about saying thank you. So these people, Tom, I mentioned, Alfie, is he here or not? Yeah. Well, he brought the Blaue Reiter, he brought the book from Aschaffenburg, which is far away. Yeah. And there was no chance of an accident or whatever because it's the best copy in the world. And we were lucky to get it in the end. All right. And now we have Marvi and I lost my notes. What's this? Give me a chance to save my ass. Yeah, good. So yesterday we had helicopters going around here and going around our house. In the news, in the evening, Republica, have you seen it? A video with street fights directly in front of the house where I live. Heavy street fighting, police and demonstrators. Palestine, they tried to get into the Biennale and they stopped it. So, I'm sorry about that, but in a way, dealing with aesthetica right now, with an aesthetic topic, is not so easy. And always had the feeling I even have to defend, or we sank ourselves deeply into Duchamp, which also is also something a bit unhealthy. We ended up in his psychology and in the depth of his personality way too deep to not drown. I'm desperate that at the end of my life I'm in a situation, as we all are, that is very much like at the beginning of before the beginning of World War I. We're surrounded by Benicism, we're surrounded by warmongering, etc. What constantly comes to my mind is a certain proto-Dada figure in Germany that is widely forgotten. His name was Paul Scheppe. And Paul Scheppe was a Dada poet, long before Dada came into existence, in many respects a role model for one of the very few inspirations for Duchamp. Paul Scheppe was a figure that inspired Dada and inspired the November Revolution to a certain degree, and Paul Scheppe, a totally eccentric, incredible writer. I wish people would read it again. I don't know if it's possible to even translate him into English, because very much like Duchamp, it's based on Spoonerism, calembours, and homonymy in language. Paul Scheppe stopped eating in 1915 and died. He stopped eating as a protest against World War I. And this was told by another Dada friend of his, Walter Mehring. Yeah, I don't see anyone that stops eating, including myself, but I think to a certain degree what happened back then goes unnoticed now. While back then we had people like Paul Scheppe or Karl Kraus, yeah, who wrote this incredible drama, The Last Days of Mankind, about World War I. Paul Scheppe died. Some of the Dada people suffered and died in the conflicts of the November Revolution in Berlin, and they were all part of the uprising, the Spartacus uprising, etc. They were all very much involved into this century, the 20th century, with a broken back spine. Is Stefano here?
Yeah. Yes.
Where is Stefano?
Yeah.
Who wrote that metaphor with the century of the broken back spine?
Don't touch the furniture.
Tell me.
No.
I forgot. No, good. Okay, I like the metaphor. Yeah, the amazing thing is that most of the people in the context of Duchamp suffered from this 20th century with the broken back spine. So maybe possibly the worst tragedy is Robert Desnos. We have an unpublished typoscript of him there. It's a poem that is, in my eyes, maybe the best description of Duchamp. This guy, Robert Desnos, died in a concentration camp 3 days after the American army opened the doors. He was infected by some, I can't remember what it was, but he was infected by, he was freezing, another inmate gave him socks, and the socks contained lice, is that the term? Which transmitted cholera or something, and he died after the war, in a way, in the concentration camp. And he's not the only one. I mean, Aragon was a close friend, and Aragon is another person where I think Aragon wrote a poem early on when he was a Dadaist about Duchamp. That's one of the good understandings of Duchamp, one of the very deep understandings of Duchamp. It's in a book in the 20s here in that region. Absolutely amazing book. The whole poem is reprinted in our catalog. So Aragon was a communist and was very active in the Resistance, and he had a Resistance magazine, and 18 of his editors were shot by the Nazis, and he survived, and his love survived, and all the rest were killed. I could tell you 20 biographies like that. People that were highly involved in the tragedies of the 20th century, and among them, the longest love affair of Duchamp, Mary Reynolds, who was very active in the Resistance, and she hardly made it back to America. It was very dangerous, and it was the same period of time when Benjamin died on the border between Spain and Germany. While Duchamp was the man out of history. Duchamp was the man out of history. He was untouched by history. that makes it really a bit unintuitive to me to fully understand that he was a contemporary of Dadaists in Berlin, like Hausmann, Hannah Höch, or Hülsenbeck. People that involved themselves in a political fight, which obviously Duchamp, at least on the surface, never did. So when World War I broke out, there was a trauma in the life of Duchamp because he came from his family with 2 brothers and 3 sisters, and most of them were artists. And the grandfather was an important artist in France as well. And he loved the brothers, even if the brothers were the ones that had to tell him on the Couton show of 1910, when the head Orthodox general of the Coupists said, the nude descending a staircase is not a Coupist painting. You have to either remove it or erase the title. And the brothers came to him and said, Marcel, we have to tell you something. A nude descending a staircase is not good. Nudes in Cubism should lie on a recamier or on a sofa, but not walking down. Really, yeah, it was that ridiculous. You can't get it. There were orthodox ideas about what Cubism is. And ladies, naked ladies should, and there was no naked lady. Of course, there's a machine or something, yeah, in the painting. Anyway, he loved the brothers. Anyway, maybe the most important brother was Raymond Duchamp-Villon, who was an incredible sculptor, also present in the Armory show, with a number of incredible sculptures. And that man was drafted to World War I, and he died as a consequence of the exposures that he had at the Battle of Verdun. And one of the absolutely incredible finds of ours is the last photo of this man standing in a landscape, in a dystopic landscape with no tree up until the horizon and bomb craters up until the horizon. The Battle of Verdun, 800,000 people died, and among them Raymond Duchamp. And we have this last photo when he already felt the sickness that killed him 2 weeks later. Because of this trauma, Duchamp moved to America first, and when the French tried to even draft French citizens from America to come back to World War I, he moved on to Argentina and stayed there for nearly a year. And the same thing in World War II, he left Paris and went to America and then stayed for good, more or less. He escaped history. When he came to America first in 1915, hard to believe, he arrived there being, how old? 25 years, 26 years? In 1915 he arrived there, 20 interviews, press conferences, 18 articles within 1 week. And the amazing thing that's also not really well understood, his central position, which was the base, the fundament for all of what we did here, was already fixed and understood, and he continued to keep that understanding up until the end of his life, in the first interviews in America. But he arrived in America from the ship. We have a photo of the ship somewhere in the upper floor. We haven't been there yet. He arrived in America and he was embraced by 5 different salons, at least 5 different salons. 3 times a week he came to the Ahrensbergs. The Ahrensbergs were a couple, both of them were industrialists, big time industrialists, enormous money. And they had a huge apartment, Central Park, Tavern in the Green, this corner. The people that took part in this salon 3 times a week were all the important writers of the moment, all the important natural scientists, really everybody that you could imagine you want to talk to, they were all there. And among them, the 2 best amateur chess players in America. And Duchamp spent his nights there up until 3 o'clock in the morning playing chess with amazing people, about whom I would like to speak, but not now. Of course, he was embraced by love and interest and a concentrated form of a crowd that tried to understand him. Absolutely amazing people. One form of reception, because that's what we do, thinking about his reception, is praising his physical beauty. It's amazing. You can see a number of portraits here that are all painted by heterosexual men. The first one here is a heterosexual man that weighed 220 kilos. Yeah, this man, Joseph Stella. But all these drawings are declarations of love, I find. Yeah, and all the early descriptions of how he looked were praising the symmetric face and the Normannic beauty. So he was a Glückskind. And the English term for Glückskind would be, I think there's nothing good, a kid of children of luck. Glückskind is a bit better. Okay, there's a dilemma in this man. On one hand, he was clear-cut in his, as I always say, epistemological understanding of what art is and what he does. On the other hand, of course, he was a conundrum, he was a riddle. And the other part is, in my eyes, a kind of basic attitude towards an agonist game, not just with the audience, but with everybody around him, including friends and family. He played a chess game, and we found an incredible quote that's in the front, I think near the title of the book, as a kind of motto. His brother Jacques, very late, said, the ideal of Marcel was to anticipate the moves of the others for all of his biography, and be prepared. And that's what he did for sure with his oeuvre. So we deal a little bit different with the oeuvre than compared to the others, compared to Antemken and the MoMA, etc. Which is a bit vain, okay, fine with me. We try to escape the trap, to kind of meet him on eye level, which a number of people did, like Pierre de Masson, who wrote a book on Duchamp that's empty. There's just the names of the month on top of it to indicate the time going by, and 3 or 4 people fully understood that, and their answer to his oeuvre was silence, in a way. Of course, John Cage was one of them. This self-understanding, the clearest form of it was the lecture that he gave in Houston, Texas in 1957, I think. You would know better? 57, yeah. It's an amazing text. The guy, Duchamp, was a blagueur. He was a joker. Most of the jokes were very bad. They were all obscene. They were all proletarian class in France. And he did that by purpose to kind of tear down the respect of art that he disliked in society or problematized in society. In this lecture in Houston, he was dead serious. Dead serious. There was not a piece of irony in this. And what he said basically was, the author of the artwork is not the artist, but at least the relation between the artist and the audience, or the audience itself. The artist, and he used this weird term, is a mediumistic being. You cannot ask him what this means. It's stupid. He doesn't know. It's intuitive. So meaning is being created in a societal kind of consensus, and the respect, the kind of respect that it is higher art, higher meaning, is a result of an implicit understanding in society that has not really a reason. It's the other thing Duchamp was completely convinced by. There's no necessity. And interesting enough, he said that in the first interview, 1915, in America, he said, Rembrandt, it's just by chance that we know him. There were 15 other Rembrandts that we don't know. And there was no real reason that Rembrandt became Rembrandt and the other ones not. Be that wrong or right, he was convinced about that. So what we said is, we have the same attitude that Ropac has in Milano now, and Gagosian in New York. Gagosian took over the gallery of Ekström and recreates the show that he did there in the 60s. And of course, the MoMA. They all have the same attitude. Their attempt is to show the whole of the oeuvre of Duchamp. We do the same thing, but we only show the reception. My ideal was, someone opens the door and there's a mare magnum, a sea of boring printed text on white paper, because that's what it is. That's what Duchamp thought, that's what it's all about. Okay, it's a bit more decorative, of course, but that's what we did with our 3,000 documents in our collection. And we showed 300 here and 100 upstairs, so all in all 400, which is a third more than the MoMA, and I'm competitive, yes, sorry. Maybe only this at the end. As I said, I disliked the jokes, most of the jokes. One joke was really great, and it's the writing on his grave, in the cemetery in Rouen. And I have the official English version here. The official English version is, besides, it's always the others that die. This saying indicates that Duchamp read Epicure, because Epicure said there's no reason whatsoever to be scared about death.
Someone has stolen my watch. Someone has stolen my watch and they're in here.
I don't like this performance, sir.
You have got my watch. Give me my Gucci watch back right now. Give me my fucking watch. Give me my watch back
I
now.
will not wear cheap shit like
Give me my watch back now.
Gucci is not even
Phone the
fucking
police.
art.
Phone the police.
Gucci is just
Phone the
branding.
police.
Get out.
Phone the police.
Get out. Vintage Omega.
Phone the police. Give me my fucking watch back.
That's my dad.
Get out.
Give me my watch.
We call the
He's
police.
stolen my watch.
Get
He's
the
stolen my
fuck
watch.
out.
He has stolen my watch.
Hey, wait,
Get out. Get out.
No, I'm not going
Get
out.
out.
He's out.
We're calling the police.
Call the
Get
He
the fuck
gives
out.
me my watch back. I
Get the
won't
fuck
do
out.
anything. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Don't
Get out.
If he gives me my watch, I will go. Give me my watch and I will leave. It will be peaceful. I will be peaceful.
Get out.
Talk to me.
He has my watch.
I do not
You're waiting outside?
There's
There's only one door.
A Gucci watch.
This man will come out in 10 minutes, okay?
Branding.
He will come out in 10 minutes, okay?
I want my watch.
No, you're waiting outside.
Wait outside, call the police. I'm not going out. Now watch the back door. You go outside, call the police. We'll wait for you.
Please come out. I told you to come out.
I'm not going anywhere without my watch or the police.
Let's put on for the police. Let's call the police.
The police search him, everything's good. I'm having. Why are you looking at me? I'm the victim.
Because
You
you
idiot.
are in a
I
private.
don't care.
You are in a private
I'm a
space.
victim.
Call the police.
Give me
Call the
it
fucking police, mate.
back. Give me my watch and I will not
Call
press
the police.
charges.
Go outside. This is a private space. You don't have any right to it. Get out. Get out. This is a private space. Call the police. You can wait the police here.
I'm having the police in there. Close it down, get the police. Get the police. Get the police now. I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm not stepping out. Him and you and your wife are staying until you get searched. You're getting searched. I'm sorry, yes. You can go. He's panicking. He has my watch. He has my
I
watch.
don't like
Give it
this.
to me and I will leave and you can do what you want with the rest of your life, you piece of scum. Give me my fucking watch back or I will
Why
fucking call.
do you
Give
think
me
I
my
have your watch?
Because I know you do.
Why do you know that I have
I know
it?
you do.
Do you believe in God?
I know you
Do you believe in God?
Get the
Do you
police. Get
believe
the police.
You get the
Are
fucking
you
police.
willing to be
here.
searched? Are
Of
you
course I'm
willing
willing
to
to
be
be
searched?
searched. Look, we're going to take all my clothes from you. You're going to take my bag.
You're going to get in trouble.
Get the police.
Call the police.
If he goes out of my sight, I will lose my watch. And I'm having my watch
Wait
back.
for him.
Phone the police.
We did.
Phone the police. I'm staying. I'm staying. I am staying.
Right outside.
No,
You're not.
no, I am the fucking victim! Stop it! You're a fucking journalist! I've had my watch stolen! It's being searched. Fact! Good. Good. Let's get the police in here. That's absolutely fine. I won't be quiet. The police are coming and he'll be searching. He'll be searching the three of
You
you.
can wait outside.
I'm not going anywhere.
No?
I have lost my watch. It's been stolen.
You go to jail.
Where
And
is
I will
he?
be-
Where is he? Where is he? Where's he gone? Where's he gone now? Where's he gone now?
You're going to be.
He's gone. Has he left?
He ran to the east.
Has he left? He's left. Well, they're saying he's there. Where? Very smart. Very smart. I know, I'm sorry too, I'm sorry too, I'm very sorry. I know, I'm very sorry. He's stolen my watch, and now you're all protecting a criminal. I'm the victim.
Making such a scene, we don't want to help you. If you calm down, we're not getting help.
I'm calm.
Can you tell me how this
Is he left?
Do you know how he's going to work?
Either someone's protecting him in here, or he's you've been filming, you watched him leave, did you see him leave?
No.
I'm protecting my wife. Is he genuinely left? Everyone, if someone saw him leave, the guy with the hat, you saw him leave. Somebody, please talk to me. I'm not mad. Did the person who's just sneaked out, did he leave? Did you see him leave? Is he in here? Please, somebody help me. I wouldn't be this mad, okay? I genuinely know. He fucking took my watch. He's the only person who did this. Come. Look, he did this. He's the only person. I've not shook anyone's hand. He's taken my fucking watch. And he was here, and now he's escaped all of you because he's left. Hopefully you have him on film. I'm the fucking victim. I am the victim. Forget it. Are you serious? It's a €5,000 watch. Good for you, maybe, in your position, but in my position, €5,000, actually, no, don't you tell me to forget it. It's a crime. It's a crime. You did.
No, I didn't say.
And you've all allowed it to happen. You've all allowed them to leave. You've all allowed it to progress. Because I had them here and the police could have turned up, but you all said, you the victim, you must leave. He was here.
Wow. If it was a performance, you said, well, rehearsed one. Yeah, I didn't know.